Welcome to another exciting edition of American Warrior Radio, the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues military and veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or National Guard or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1060 WMEL, and online worldwide at 1060WMEL.com, sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present. So please get comfortable, grab a nice beverage, and don't forget a pencil and paper, because we are always efforting to bring you important information that you can use and share with others. With that said, let's roll down the runway and get this show off the ground. Y'all know me, I'm Garen Cohn. I'm an Air Force veteran, a retired legal advocate for veterans, and founder of AVET Project. But you also know that I never fly through the airwaves alone.
Good morning, I'm Glenn McGuffey. I'm retired Air Force and the retired manager of the Brevard County Veteran Services Team, where it was my honor to help our veterans and eligible family members obtain benefits earned by the veteran service to our great nation. And I did that for about 22 years, so that it was a long time, and it didn't seem like but a month or two when I came time to retire. So, and I'm still helping out.
You ain't retired yet, have you?
That's right.
You're just not getting paid.
I'm just not getting paid for it anymore. But you can send an email to me if you need some assistance, and you can send that to Glenn, Glenn, at AVET Project, that's all together, AVETPROJECT.org. That's Glenn with two N's at AVETProject.org, and give me an outline of what kind of help you need and how I can contact you, and I'll normally just send you an email back, and we'll either set an appointment up or I'll need more information. We'll get there. If we need an appointment, we'll do that. If it's something I can answer for you online, I'll do that. So the bottom line is I'm an accredited representative to assist veterans with claims with the VA. And like I said, I had over 22 years experience doing that.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of training. And I still have my sources sending me the emails on updates and everything else.
And we got some today, don't we?
Yes, we do. We got some grand news today. And so that's my history and my background, and we're thrilled to be with you right after Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas.
Exactly. I mean, here I am. Everybody that's watching this on YouTube, it's Merry Late Christmas, Late Merry Christmas. We appreciate everybody out there in American Warrior Radio land, and we just want to really thank our troops and their families for everything they do. Because, Glenn, thousands upon tens of thousands of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines are deployed across the world.
That's right, and they weren't able to be with their families over the Christmas season, and you know that's part of the job when you're in the military. And
doesn't make it any easier though.
Doesn't make it any easier. Makes it a little harder probably. We've all been there, so we speak from experience. So thank you. Good job, men and women.
No kidding. Hooah! Now, and I also have to get a special shout out to everybody out there, not just the corporate sponsors like Papa Vito's and A-Bait and so many others, but everybody that helped AVET Project collect toys for our military girls and boys over this last holiday season. We did have an enormous turnout at various events, and fortunately we were able to cover all our bases and make sure that a lot of these kids that possibly otherwise wouldn't have had toys got them this season.
Wow, that's a great job. I know everywhere I looked, you guys were out doing something. My daughter and my granddaughter went out to the Surfing Santa meeting, and they said they saw y'all out there. So cool.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event on Christmas Eve morning. I guess we set a record out there at Cocoa Beach. For all you out there in Montana or Nebraska, wherever you're listening on, 1060WMEL.com. We do this every year now. I guess it's 6th or 7th year. A bunch of guys and gals get dressed up as Santa Claus and go hit the waves. And the beach scene was thousands deep. And we also did, our executive producer, Kim's parachute. We had some incredible, 45? Some 45 parachutists up from Titusville drop in on us, all dressed in Santa as well. So phenomenal event, and here we are. It's like 80 degrees out.
Well, yeah, and my granddaughter goes to school in Colorado, so she was really thrilled.
Yeah, it's just a really fun time, and it's so cool to see the community come together. My hope is in 2016, because we're only a few days away, that we can get that kind of participation for AVET project-related events and other events that are centered on serving our military and veteran community.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's wonderful to have this kind of turnout for local events. That, of course, was not specifically honoring veterans, but veterans were included in that. And AVET, of course, always is supporting our veterans, and nobody receives a salary with them. All the donations you make are going back to help the troops, whether it be sending a care package overseas, helping locally with the National Guard, the Coast Guard, and the Air Force, and everybody.
Those reintegration retreats, PR&R retreats that we do, we need money for all that stuff, people.
Yeah, and it's effective, and it works, and it's a local organization helping locally and for troops deployed. So please give generously.
Wouldn't that be nice if y'all listening right now told you yourself and told another to go online to avetproject.org. We just don't make much money when we're on the radio. We are doing this because it's a public service. Because Glenn and I and our producer Kim and our board operator and program director Vince, we have a passion to serve our brothers and sisters in arms and get great information, correct information out there. But we're not making any money. That's the little secret. Why don't you go online? Okay, can you hear me? Let me make this perfectly clear. Go online to avetproject.org. Click on the donate button. If it's $1, great. If it's $5.50, $500, whatever, we need this so that we can host our PR&R reintegration retreats. And we can't do it without you. We are a team. As Glenn said, we're all unpaid volunteers.
That's right. And that's a good point you're making about the radio station. We don't get paid for doing this. We're doing this out of the goodness of our heart and our love for our brother and sister veterans and their families.
Exactly, and we've been doing it a long time. We've gotten a lot of great information. You much longer than me, Mr. McGuffey. We've gotten a lot of great information out there to the masses, and we appreciate you sharing it. And please tell everybody you know to dial us up every Saturday from 11 to noon on AM 1060 WMEL. We need the exposure. We need to get the word out even stronger. I do want to mention that a favorite person of mine, a good friend of mine, and certainly an American hero, Gerald Walter, all of us know him as Jerry, passed away this last week. He was a World War II POW survivor, an incredible man, fought valiantly on behalf of veterans right here, even locally, through the Lake Nona facility and all the foot dragging and long time it took to get. Well, it was people like Gerald Walter that actually kept the fire lit under these people to make sure the facility got open. He was just one of many. But Jerry, we love you and we miss you, and I would ask all of our audience to say a prayer or take a moment and think about Flo, his surviving spouse, his widower, because she needs all the help she can get as she's lost the husband, the man, the warrior of her life, Gerald Walter. God bless him. It was a painless, peaceful death, and we appreciate that. But he is passed on, and I just had to take a moment to get that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. A great man.
So Glenn, we've got other issues, and we got to get to some of this VA information because, as you were saying, you're still in the loop. You keep everything updated. What's going on with this whole Camp Lejeune thing?
Well, we've been talking about it off and on for, a year and a half or so now, and they finally came out and they were allowing veterans and their dependents who were stationed at Camp Lejeune, and for health care you had to be there for 30 days or longer, and the same criteria for your dependents. So they were getting free health care from the VA if they had certain diseases.
There's like a list of 15 covered conditions.
Yeah, there's 15 for healthcare, and now, hallelujah, they have passed a change. The VA secretary put it in, and we got the word on 17 December, so it's right up front here. You're probably hearing it for the first time. I'm sure you're hearing it for
I
the
bet
first
you
time.
are.
So
The VA plans to propose expanded disability benefits eligibility for veterans exposed to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune. That's the heading of the press release. Explain that.
Well, when we read through this, we're talking about veterans stationed there from 1953 to 1987. It's now recognized that the water sources that were coming in were contaminated with some very nasty chemicals. I'm not gonna
Potentially deadly.
Yeah, and I'm not going to try and read these things because some of these words are beyond my ability to put together. It's the words longer in the sentence, but anyway, Secretary McDonald has determined that there's enough evidence available to open up presumptive service connection. What's that mean, Garen? Presumptive.
Well, I'm going to guess, as we have Agent Orange presumptive service-connected disorders and other presumptives, if you were there, all right, if you were there, and you can define the timeline,
Yeah.
but if you were there, then you were presumed to have been exposed.
That's right. You're presumed to have been exposed to the water that was highly contaminated.
Well, and that, Glenn, that's whether they were using the hand washing, the showers, the drinking water, whatever.
That's right. That's right. And so there's going to be 8 presumptive conditions. And so to get service connected for presumptive condition, it's pretty easy. You go get evidence from a doctor diagnosing you with one of these 8, and I'll give them to you. Kidney cancer, liver cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, leukemia, multiple myeloma, scleroderma, which is a skin
disease,
condition where your skin shrinks and tightens, and I don't believe I've ever seen anybody with it, but I'm sure.
I have, and it's devastating.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some Marines out there that were stationed at Camp Lejeune, and I don't know if you were a Marine, if you could not have been stationed at some time at Camp Lejeune.
Exactly. It's a massive base, a very central point.
Yeah, and Parkinson's disease and aplastic anemia, myelodysplastic syndrome. So
None of them sound very good.
none of them are good.
See?
And they're caused by these nasty chemicals that were in the water. And how did they get there? They got there from a dry cleaning company off the base that was draining their chemicals not according to plan.
Unconscionable. And I want to stress something here. If you were passing through Camp Lejeune